Hello friends, my name is Lisa Grail. Welcome to my channel. Today I think I'm ready to share new insights with you. Otherwise they will tear me to pieces. This information came to me 2 months ago and I just can't talk about anything else. And I don't care if they throw stones at me or don't understand, because whoever needs this information will understand. So today I will try to tell you about the model of the world that may seem alien to you, at least unusual and non-standard for your understanding. 2 months ago, my close friend sent me an amazing lecture by Russian physicists who talked about quantum physics with an applied approach. That is, he spoke of the experiments that many of us have already heard about. For example, an experiment with Schrödinger cat, which was alive and dead at the same time. And also an experiment where the particle behaved differently depending on the observer. In some cases, it behaved like a point, and in the other, like a wave. If you are interested in a deeper study of these experiments with the cat and particle, there is a lot of information on YouTube. However, what struck me was how these physicists transferred the model of multi-level, multivariate reality to our lives. And it blew my mind a little bit more than Vadim Zeland with his reality transurfing, which I also talked about in my videos. And here is the most important thought and mystery from the speech of this physicist. No objective reality exists. You can turn off the video right now here if this information killed you. And I will continue. Reality exists as a set of various options, and only our consciousness, I repeat, only our consciousness, isolates from this enormous variety the only option that we perceive here and now. We believe in actions, but in reality, it's not our actions that determine how we live and what we have in our lives. We believe in actions, attention, because they give us opportunity to lean on something, to predict the result to which these actions supposedly should lead. We believe in cause and effect. It seems to us that the reason is always in the past. Certain actions have led to certain results, which is quite logical. However, no, quantum physics says something else. The real reason is completely different. It's always in the present moment and how we perceive reality here and now. And even in those cases when we, it seems to us, manage to predict the results of our actions, when our forecast comes true, the predictability of the results is explained not by the effectiveness of our actions as a cause, but by the effectiveness of our faith in this reality. In the other words, we think that we can predict the development of events, but in fact, with our forecast, we form this reality by launching so-called self-fulfilling prophecies. And everything would be fine if they always came true. But more often than not, reality gets out of our control, and as a result of our actions, we get not what we planned. Because in addition to planned, conscious expectations, our minds are confused with such a mix of fears, expectations of a catch from the world, and multidirectional desires hidden from ourselves, that in the end we get some kind of almost impossible to decipher the sum of all our desires, accurate to many ideas and beliefs about the reality surrounding us. And all these ideas and beliefs are materially embodied, existing as variants of infinitely diverse reality. And it would be wrong to say that they are not true, they really exist. The main point here is that our knowledge of the world doesn't correspond to the world corresponds to our knowledge of it. Today, physicists are studying the quantum world, that is, how the universe is structured at the most basic, deepest levels, level of elementary particles and pure energy. Physicists are sure that reality includes all its possible variants. They call it superposition, so that a concrete picture is unfolding in front of the observer and is determined by the position of the observer himself. This is called the five-dimensional world, in which our three-dimensional world is only an illusion because there are many other layers of reality at one point, and only the observer determines whether the Schrödinger cat is alive or the gas entered the box where he was sitting and the poor cat got poisoned and died. Or maybe he held his breath while the gas was started and still survived. And what kind of cat exists in your reality? I'll see right away I'm far from physics, but everything became clear even to me. Let's just put it in a plain language. Our reality is like a cake with layers. The layers of this cake are layers of reality. Each layer consists of a chain of successive events, states of the world, thus forming a timeline from the past to the future. Each layer of reality corresponds to a certain level of total energy, which is constant and isn't changed within the nominal level. And this energy gives rise to certain quality of the events corresponding to the layer of reality. There is little energy at the lower levels. A fierce struggle is unfolding for it. At the upper levels, the energy is abundant and the quality of the processes is completely different. Now it's clear why such terms as raise your vibrations are so popular nowadays, because reality has both a wave structure and a particle structure at the same time. Thus, the quality of reality of our life can be determined by physical parameter, the vibrational frequency of the particles or frequency of the waves. To maintain a higher frequency, more energy is needed. Conversely, a higher energy level generates the higher vibration frequency. Thus, we have an infinite spectrum of realities from zero and up. Below is the bottom, the absolute bottom, the absence of vibrations. The energy is zero. Upward from it, the higher the level of the layer, the higher the total energy of the layer, and the higher the frequency of vibrations. It means the higher the quality of life. Our three-dimensional consciousness at each moment of time resonates, interacts with a specific, separately taken layer of reality, which depends on the level of energy of our consciousness. That is, on the frequency at which our personal consciousness works. High-frequency consciousness resonates with a high-frequency level of reality. Low-frequency consciousness with a low frequency. Everything is simple. I'm tired of this theory, it's very boring, and I'm a practitioner, so let's talk specifically about life, about this awareness. In my previous video, The Key to Happiness, I actually talked about what needs to be done to live at the high frequency level of reality. I talked about the list of joy and energy of love, which is the highest frequency wave in our reality. It is the state of unconditional love which is achieved as the result of the joy of living reality that gives us a thrill that leads to the fact that we move to the upper level of reality, where everything becomes even better, more joyful, more prosperous. Therefore, don't think that you need money or you need to gain a lot while suffering at your bloody job to go to these levels where you will be happy. Don't think that you will be happy someday in your future, somewhere over the rainbow. It doesn't work like that, because the primary thing is the feeling of joy from the moment here and now. And only then your reality will change accordingly. This is confirmed by the lives of people who reached their heights and became millionaires, and as a result felt miserable and satiated. For example, fell seriously ill as a result. And all from the fact that they simply fought with the world without a sense of joy and love. The physicist I spoke of claims that everything is determined by the totality of our conscious and unconscious desires. And the new model of the world, the five-dimensional world, shows us that the problem is not desires, but that they are fighting among themselves within our consciousness for the main resource, energy. All our desires will be fulfilled instantly as soon as we learn how to arrange them, coordinate them in our consciousness, resolving all the disputes within our personality. This model of the world says only one thing: the reason for everything is only in the observer, whose consciousness perceives reality. Therefore, all the disputes about the structure of the world are useless, because everyone has his own script in which he believes. Let it be according to your faith. Jesus Christ said something like this. And this guy was a specialist in quantum physics. Do you think you can change the world around you and you're just a puppet in the hands of circumstances and other people? Let it be. It's your reality. Do you believe in miracles, in goodness and ease? You live a life of a dream and everything turns out easily, as if by itself. It's your reality too. Do you have big debts that you can't get out of? The reason is again in you. Debts indicate that you owe this world. Perhaps you have a great gift, and instead of showing this gift to the world, you are engaged in some kind of a job that doesn't bring you joy. Or maybe you're sick or your child is sick. The reason is again in you. Perhaps unconsciously you want to die. Or you are tired of devoting all your time to your child because life has bothered you. Answer yourself honestly. The S in which you're sitting right now, why do you need it? And these are not accusations against you, not a desire to show you how insignificant and stupid you are. On the contrary, I want to put the most important thing to you with love. A quantum leap is possible. Everything is possible. Once you realize your true desires, accept them, you can turn on the most powerful weapon inside you, your willpower, and tell yourself, enough, I want to live, I want to be happy and enjoy. I owe nothing to anyone but myself. Then guilt, self-worthlessness, and senselessness of life, which kills you or at least takes your energy away, will disappear. And energy, as you know, is the most important thing. Tell yourself, from now on and forever, the reason for my reality is only in me. Why do I want to be constantly criticized? Why do I want to have unrequited love? Why this person next to me behaves like an asshole? Do you have any problem? Something doesn't work out? Write down on the piece of paper all the conscious and unconscious reasons. Dug them up inside yourself. Understand one thing. Every second, the space around is completely rebuilt. The material world is not as stable as you imagine. Every second, a new reality is formed. If you are sad right now, you can use your willpower to switch the tumbler inside yourself and look at the things from the different angle, and then, as if by accident, the phone rings and someone tells you good news. And if you revel in your suffering, they will call you and say that your relative is sick or you have lost your money. Everything is fine right now and it will be even better. And this is not pink glasses or self-hypnosis. This is reality. Quantum physics, no magic. For example, in someone's world, the coronavirus has already spread to the whole world and millions of people have died. Someone blamed China for the virus and the Third World War began. And in someone's reality, the coronavirus is a great miracle that showed people that we are all one. And these borders which are closed now are in fact illusory, and we are all brothers and sisters. We are all parts of the whole, cells of a huge creature. Now there is a great transformation, great spiritual revolution where the world is ruled by mutual understanding, mutual assistance, unconditional love, regardless of race, religion, and gender. So you have a choice right now how to perceive this reality. If you believe that everything is for the best in your world, it will be so. This will be your self-fulfilled prediction. The Russian physicist, whom I'm really grateful, told how miracles happened at his University of Consciousness. He healed many diseases in himself, even such incurable one as, for example, multiple sclerosis. What happened? He realized the reasons why he didn't want to live happily. He wanted to get sick. And suddenly, having come to the doctor for the second diagnosis, it turned out that he was completely healthy. It only remained to shrug and state that the medical tests were incorrect. His 5-year-old son was also healed, who for no reason fell ill and was dying in front of his father's eyes. People with cancer were healed at 4th stage. Suddenly, the disease turned into remission. Our material reality will always find confirmation of these miracles. And there will be people who say, yes, this is just a coincidence. And someone will say, no, baby, this is quantum physics. I understand that this is difficult to realize, but when this information came to me, I was filled with incredible joy, and maybe you'll feel it right now too. I allowed myself to be myself without feeling guilty, without desire to prove my worth. In addition to this video, watch my video, The Key to Happiness, and you will have all the instruments to change your reality. Let's see what will happen next. I also sometimes have bad days when it's difficult to pull myself together, but then I realize that in fact, everything is wonderful and all the better. What if I rejoice and devote myself to my beloved deeds? My reality will also be wonderful and joyful. And you don't have to think what if or plan anymore. The situation with the coronavirus has spoiled many plans, and someone bangs his head against the wall and panic, while someone searches for the reason in himself and realizes that now is the best time to stop and think where to go next, what to do, so that it can bring you joy and fill you with love, extend the years of your life so that you wouldn't catch any infection. After all, a person begins to die when he loses the interest in life. I wish you awareness in your choice and love you all very much. See you soon. Stay true and kind, the rest things never mind.